poppin' till they hate you. Part two, baby, I just had a breakthrough.
What's good, y'all? Y'all know what it is. Eloquently Petty, man. Petty Gang is in the building. What up, Petty Gang? Y'all already know what it is. Last time I spoke to y'all, Knicks, man. 3-1. 3-1. This one is it. They can't mess this up. They can't mess this up. I ain't gonna lie, when I started watching the game, I was like, the Knicks is nicking again. They on their Knicks BS again. Okay? But might go down this time. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to Big Head Spike Lee. Shout out to everybody that you see at the Knicks Stadium. You seen them in the stadium, in MSG, all these years watching the Knicks lose. I feel for them more than anybody. For the Knicks fans that watch the Knicks lose for years, I'm not one of those people. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to keep it 1,000 with you. I'm not one of those people. Okay? But for those people that stuck with the Knicks all these years, watching them lose year after year after year after year, and I'm talking about all my life. Okay? 53 years they haven't won a chip. I haven't seen Knicks win a chip once in my life. So for the people that stuck it out with the Knicks, and shout out to even my people that I know fit under this category. Shout out to you. All good. You deserve all of this, all these feelings that y'all got going with y'all now. Y'all deserve it. I'm a fan of the town. I'm a fan of New York. Not necessarily a Knicks fan per se, but I'm going to root for the New York team. It's just what it is, right? So, yeah, man. Looks like we're going to get it. Looks like we're going to get it this year. So, yeah, man. Shout out to the Knicks. New York, nigga. Hate all you like. Whoever's not from New York, you know what I'm saying? Hate all you like. Whoever's rooting against New York. I'm hearing they throwing eggs and shit at the Spurs players. Wembanyama got hit in the head with an egg, and from what I understand, this kid is a cocky bastard. So, yeah, take that. At any rate, real quick on this this Karmelo Anthony situation. So, this is my first episode since the verdict has come down. They gave this kid 35 years. Now, look, I know a lot of you guys are split on this, right? But I don't care how you feel. There's no justification for 35 years. None. This was a manslaughter at best. And I believe that there's a lot of BS going on in here. They railroaded that kid. They came down with that verdict very fast. The fix is in. You got pictures of the father kicking it with the judge and the DA. The judge should have recused himself. This is going to get thrown out on appeal. And I can't wait to see it. So, saltine people, right? Enjoy it now while it lasts. But the appeal is going to shock you. This is going to get shot down on appeal just on that alone. I don't even have to go into anything else. The fact that the judge did not recuse himself alone is grounds for this to be thrown out. He had a public defender because they locked up his money, his support, right? What's the other thing? The DA was throwing out all black jurors. There was a lot going on here. Where the fix was in, okay? You had other situations in Texas. You got another kid, stabbed a kid in school with a knife. There's nothing illegal about the knife that he had. People keep harping on the knife, but he had the knife. Why was he carrying a knife? Maybe he was one of those kids that had to deal with this type of issue going to school with white kids. I think a lot of you Negroes don't understand the realities, because me personally, I didn't go to school with a bunch of white kids. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I went to school with a lot of black and Hispanic kids. Okay, we fought, we had issues, but it wasn't like this. A lot of kids that go to school, they go to these white schools, and they have to deal with being bullied by white boys. This is a regular thing for them. So when you ask, well, why would these kids carry weapons on them? And this wasn't even a weapon. It was either, something it was a tool to remove cleats, or it was a small knife. Either way, we practice or we preach Second Amendment all day. A kid can't carry a knife to keep motherfuckers off him, and then it's more than one person in his face. I'm not mad at this kid at all for having something on him. When we was kids, we carried little, blades and things of that nature. But all of a sudden, we want to judge these young kids for having stuff on them. They gave this kid murder one as if he woke up that day like, yo, I'm going to kill me somebody. No, he went down there. He was invited into the tent. We know the kid's name that invited him in there. And he was with his friend, and then he got approached by these people. Now, I was reading something and I agree with it. That's when his friend should have stepped in and said, nah, he's good, he's with me. And that didn't happen. Didn't happen. Because he didn't feel like it was his place. Why not? So you didn't hold me down, and then here we are. You invited me over here, and you ain't hold me down in your invitation, and here we are. You know what I mean? So there's so many bad things in this case. If this doesn't get thrown out, it'll be crazy. And then these jurors, right? These are people that have to live in this area. This is probably a small area. They probably know a lot of people. The people probably recognize some of the people in the jury. So they had to come up with a verdict that kind of like fit in with the feelings of that town, the feelings of the people down there. They gave him the maximum sentence that they could give him, as if this was egregious, like, murder one. Usually what they do with these types of charges, we see police get murder one, and we know that they're going to beat it because they didn't wake up that day planning to kill somebody. You seen Rick Chow, the grocery store owner that chased down Cyrus Belton. They gave him a murder one charge, and he was able to beat it because they said there was no malice or forethought. There was definitely malice in the Rick Chow case. A forethought might not be the case, but there was definitely malice. You chased the kid down for whatever distance you chased him down. This is after I patted him down on video. This is after he left his bag at the door on video. He didn't argue with you or fight you in the store on video. And y'all still chased him down. You were the aggressor in that situation. And then you claim self-defense in that situation in which you were the aggressor. But then they say that this kid, who was approached by some people and threatened by some people, the same people that will say, I got the right to stand my ground, I ain't got to leave, I ain't got to move. There is no jurisdiction that these kids had over this kid. I don't care what the culture is at track meets or any other sporting event. If I'm sitting somewhere that I was invited to, it's not private property. There's no law saying that I shouldn't be here. You personally ain't got the right to remove me physically. You call a teacher, a coach, the police, whoever. But if you think that these kids had jurisdiction to remove somebody, I don't care how many times he was asked to leave. It's like you go to a pool, you know what I'm saying? In your, let's say somebody invites you to their pool. Somebody invites you to a pool, they live somewhere, or maybe they're at a hotel, whatever the case may be. Let's go with like out here they got apartment complexes that have pools. You go to somebody else's pool at an apartment complex. They invite you over. Your homie, he got the pool. You go over there, and you chilling, and there's people there that don't recognize you. They like, who you with? Ain't none of their business. Oh, we think you should leave. No. And if you think I shouldn't be here that strongly, go get an authority figure. Go get somebody with a badge. But the moment you decide personally to remove me from here, it's going to be problems. It's just going to be problems. Now, people could say, well, you could have just left. I could have did that, but I decided I didn't want to because I have the right to choose I don't want to. Everybody talk about the rights and don't tread on me and I got the right and I'm an American. I got the right. I'm an American. It's my civil right. And it always changes when it comes to some black people. I swear, it always changes. Even amongst black people, they'll tell you, yo, man, you can't do what the white man could do. Why? The white man could sit at the front of the bus. So when I hear people talk like this, it lets me know who would have been a happy slave and who wouldn't have. No, I want my rights. That's what Tony Montana said. I want my human right. I'm going to sit where I want to sit, chill where I want to chill, grill where I want to grill. It gets to the point where every time you somewhere chilling, if these people could come and just remove you and you just move because I don't want no trouble, it gets to a point where you ain't never going to be able to pursue your happiness. Regardless of how this case went and everything like that, at the end of the day, like I said on Facebook and I'll say it here, I'm busting off at somebody. If I got to put on a jumpsuit, so be it. They gone. They out of here. You ain't coming to mess with me just off straight raw principle. Or straight raw principle. I'm mad at Cyrus Belton for not shooting Rick Chow. I don't care that he's 14. I don't care that he had a gun. The gun's in his bag. The gun never comes out. This is stuff that they proved. The kid talking about, oh, he pointed the gun at me. I'm not a believer. What are you running for? I got a gun. I'm running. That's the only thing I'm mad about with that situation is that he didn't use the weapon he had. And you get people saying, well, Karmelo Anthony has to do some time because somebody died. Well, somebody died with Rick Chow. But to you, white life or non-black life is more valuable than black life because the first thing you're asking is, well, why did he have a gun? Well, he didn't shoot anybody. Kyle Rittenhouse was underage with a gun, shot people. They called it self-defense. This kid was running with a gun in his possession, and he deserved to die because he had a gun in his possession. I thought we lived in a country where you had the right to bear arms. What happened to that? Gun, non-black, authority figure, law enforcement, protector, someone who's fighting tyranny. Right? Gun, black, criminal, thug, this type of thing. And I'm not even talking about what white folks think. I'm talking about what I've been reading and hearing from black people. Now, is everybody on that type of timing? No. No. But I've seen too much of it. People who are happy to just give up their rights. I know it's cool to be conservative now as a black person that's in vogue and all of that. But nah, man. I don't care what you say about me. I'm busting off. You come at me. I'm busting off. And say what you want to say about me. Karmelo Anthony doesn't have a picture of himself posing with a gun. He no weed, no prior offenses. And they gave this kid the max like he's a 3-time offender. They gave him the maximum time. This kid was a minor when this happened. And because the case took so long to try, He is now, 19 years old. They gave him 35 years. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think about this. 35 years is wild. It's wild to me. And if you think it's cool, then you're wild. Okay? You're wild. And you might not like niggas. You might not. This gets shot down on appeal. It's too much wrong with the case. They railroaded. This is some back in the, they took us on a trip. This is some, time capsule back in the day. The only difference between this, it makes me think, right, that back in the day where they was doing the Emmett Tills and all these other historic cases that we seen them do all types of foul shit with black men, how many Negroes was actually on the side of the oppressor? Because it's just like nowadays, dudes are too willing to buck dance. I couldn't be in civil rights era and bump into some of you guys. But shout out to the people that know that this is BS. Shout out to y'all. But I just wanted to comment on that. And the Knicks, of course. Shout out to all of that. Yeah. Shout out to a few people, man. I'm gonna be on a couple of platforms, man, but promoting the channel or whatever the case may be. But hey, man, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, man. This is Eloquently Petty, Marcus Aurelius. I'm out of here. Peace.
You ain't poppin' till they hate you. Pop two, baby, I just had a breakthrough.